His parents say he was kidnapped last Thursday, and tonight they say they're concerned about their own safety. So what happened to Emmanuel Haro and where he is remains a mystery. His mother, Rebecca, says that around 7 p.m. exactly 1 week ago, she was changing his diaper outside her truck in the parking lot of a Big Five sporting goods store. She claims a man came up behind her, attacked her, and knocked her out. And when she came to, Emmanuel was gone. Investigators are largely focusing on Rebecca and her husband, Jake, the baby's father, after noting some inconsistencies in the mother's story. Jake also has relevant criminal history here. He was convicted of child cruelty in a case involving his 10-week-old baby in 2018. So far, police have not named any suspects, nor have they ruled out foul play. But members of the public following the story have their own suspicions. The parents say they are now facing threats. They even say they called 911 last night after strangers came onto their property, stole things from their porch, and banged on their door. Joining us now is NewsNation senior investigative producer Allison Weiner. She's been on the scene speaking with sources on the ground. Also joining us is former FBI Special Agent Bobby Chacon. Allison, I want to start with you. You've been in close contact with Jake and Rebecca Haro and the lawyer who's representing Jake. What kinds of threats is this couple getting?
Well, it's a bit of a circus outside of the house. I was actually in Cabazon, and the pictures that we just showed of the, memorial or the signs up are right outside of the house. Cabazon is an area of California in the middle of the desert that is about 30 minutes from Palm Springs. It's about 108 outside there. And I was standing outside there. There's a lot of media there, but there's also a lot of TikTokers and all kinds of pseudo-interested people who are milling about, and I assume that also includes, some unsavory types. I don't assume it. I saw some unsavory types. It's also, these people are walking onto the lawn. They're walking up to the house. They're banging on the door. I saw some of that behavior. So basically, this case has generated a lot of emotion. People are very.
And why did they call 911, Allison?
Well, there was a man that went up to the house. He banged on the door repeatedly. He stole something off of the porch, and then he made some joke about how, he had done the five-finger gift or whatever and taken the item. It was a gift from the Haros, or, just sort of making a joke about it. The police came, but they did not speak with Mr. Haro, and they cited the reasons for not speaking with him because he had declined to speak with the police at this time about this case. But frankly, he's very frightened. And when they left their house, everybody ran after their car. I was there, and I saw sort of the circus following them.
And Allison, why is the police are saying that the couple are not complying with police? They say they are. The police say they're not. Why do we have this difference here?
Well, I think they were trying to be assisting initially, and then I think when the focus turned on them, they have refused to meet with the police for, say, for a lie detector test. The wife has, the Rebecca, the mom. And the issue here is I spoke with Mr. Haro's lawyer. He is not representing the mother, but he told me that she was willing, that he had heard that she was willing to meet with the police and take a lie detector test if her lawyer was present. Apparently, they couldn't come to terms. And again, I had a conversation with the lawyer. He is beginning to be in hiding because he is frightened because he's receiving death threats.
So, Bobby, yeah. I've spoken to several lawyers today who say it's not normal to have a lawyer present during a lie detector test. Is that your understanding, number one? And number two, what do you make of a mother in this position refusing to take one?
Well, first of all, that is true. I've been subjected to many polygraph tests when I had a national security top clearance. So I had to be polygraphed, and I put people under polygraphs. And the polygraphers that I've worked with always say it's a one-on-one. It's the polygrapher and the subject, nobody else in the room. And that's the way it has to happen. It's a very specific process. And so it's kind of like, a grand jury. You can have your lawyer outside in the hallway and you can take a break and ask them stuff, but you can't have them in the room when the polygraph is being given. It's usually just the polygrapher and the subject of the polygraph, and that's just the process that they go through. So that's I think where we're at now. Why would she refuse? There's a number of reasons why she would refuse. She might feel she might fail, or she might feel that there are other things that she's been involved in that she doesn't want to talk about that they may get into.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.